Angithi there's certain older women that understand the value of going to help out. Because normally they come back with amascons, with inyama,
Sure.
with whatever. So they've found a way to gain their own value from that.
Yeah.
But imagine if we standardized it. We would say, all the women that come to chop and what, they get paid or they walk away with certain value. So that when you're like, oh, I now have to go and chop, and you're like, you're going to come back with like 3 stina. Oh, but you complain so don't act like it's... Right now, women feel like they're being exploited. That's why they don't want to do it. That's why they don't want to go there. So I must go to your house and play makoti. But they don't mind going to play whatever at work. Because they feel like at work...
There's a value exchange there.
There's a value exchange.
Ngapha
I'm feeling exploited. So don't make them feel exploited. Being like, every time we go to work at functions, you'll actually have people fighting to be like...
But where's the thing of obligation in fact to a family? Doesn't that play a factor with the example that you're speaking about?
So the obligation, this is what I'm saying about Ubuntu. And that's why I'm like, it can be debatable on when you want to destroy our Ubuntu. And I'm like, I think it was meant to be value exchange.
Yeah.
So the obligation is meant to be like, yes, I'm obligated, but what is the return obligation?
You know, you're right, because actually you're right. Just when you think about cultural things, and I think you guys know what is the thing of, even when you span, you know at the end of his span, Rakhadi must get something, Malume must get something, because they were the leaders of this whole thing. Whether Nelly, Finrali, they did everything. So you know that the leg of this cow, no matter what happens, it has to go to Malume.
And people will fight.
Yo.
They'll be like, excellent, want to make sure.
Yeah.
Kufana noguti, you're a prime master at your home. Your woman puts your meat aside. It can't be you get to the kitchen, Baba, message tell you, oh, sorry, Baba, the meat is finished. You're like, I don't understand now.
Yeah, no.
It's like,
Yeah.
Putin will put a lot of pieces or they bring it to you first, Baba. When you can, no, Bamba extra. No, still Bambe, Baba. Because we have to appreciate you.
Yeah. So it was there. Definitely was there. Yeah. I guess it was cultural and no more the economic side of things. Let's hear the other stuff.
Ubuntu asks you to help your community find jobs. By your community, it's your siblings, it's your cousins, it's whatever. Capitalism asks you to only help your community find jobs if it will pay you. So many of us don't feel any need and desire to help our cousins and what. And sadly, again, Ubuntu has to be two-way. They don't show up. The few that you've given an opportunity to get into spaces have let you down. They've ruined your reputation. They don't appreciate. I've said before, when people had me on social media, I said, every time someone gets you a job, every time someone helps you sell something in your business, pay them commission.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be cash because some people are funny. Be like, and even when they get you a job, maybe we standardize it to 3 to 6 months, 10% of your salary. Just to bonga, because it incentivizes them to help the next person. And it's also a thank you, because they wouldn't have gotten that money any other way. And if you naturalize that, people are now incentivized to help. Every time I know I'm going to get something. So why would I not want to? Because I benefit.
Whereas Ubuntu at its core assumes that human beings are designed like that. They would just help natural, irrelevant of what they want to get.
Just have Ubuntu. How can I have Ubuntu if my cousin Twana, I get him into the job and now he's bad-mouthing me to my boss? And tomorrow say I'm pampela. And the day I'm retrenched and I'm like, Twana, hey, Malume, now you're bugging me. I'm bugging you. I helped you get a scholarship in high school. Now I'm... Okay, no sure. The next nephew, what? That wants help. I'm like, no, Israel Mateke Zulu was on, I think it was Podcast and Chill, one of the first episodes to hit over 1 million views.
Where they shot at Alex, it was not in the studio.
Was it Alex? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like in a kitchen or something.
Yeah.
And he spoke about this thing of trying to help kids get into this acting space. You use your petrol, you feed them, and then as soon as bepopa, now the parents are like, when you're exploiting, what? And he's like, that's when he stopped. He was like, stack. I'm not sharing opportunity. I'm not sharing knowledge, nothing. Because there's no appreciation here at all.
So you're saying we need to put a monetary value or an exchange value to appreciation. which is
We have
Ubuntu.
to. Almost everything. Yabona at its core, I actually think that's what Ubuntu was. Your old lady, you get home, and she cooks you your favorite meal. In your head, you must be like, I owe the old lady something.
Yeah.
Then immediately you must think, what puts a smile on her face?
Yeah.
Airtime, a day spa,
Buying
whatever. Electricity.
You understand that?
Emakoko cleaner, you.
Yeah.
Kulu yabo. And you're like, that's all. Because she made me happy. It's not meant to be a big deal. And some of these things don't even sometimes need money like that. Because for some people, Fetu, your presence is a gift.
Just you being in that
Just
environment.
you being there, ntwana ibakhuphula imorale. Uthi mfethu kanti hey usasibona mfethu. No. Awuthi sami sokulandela drink, awuthi siyo. And everyone runs because they're like, hey, and you're like, oh shit. And they call the neighbors like, say, Sizwe is here, and you're like, I'll put Sizwe senfikile, and you're like, oh, hola. I know basitshelile ntwana hey, besila grounding sisasigijima. You're like, oh shit. So it's like a thing. Okay.
Hectic.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Ubuntu says you must throw away goods that have expired or will expire. So they're not healthy, they're not fine. Capitalism says sell expired goods or goods that will expire at discount. Someone who's selling you, we speak about spaza shops today, someone who's selling you rotten food or expired food that they wouldn't give to their own child.
Yeah.
Clearly doesn't see you as a human being.
Yeah.
Uyinja.
Because I wouldn't do that. Me, myself. Yeah.
You know, we've had this chat with my mom where we speak about uklasa, your own family members.
Okay.
My mom had this bad habit, and I think it's from her generation, where she used to buy herself in a spray.
Okay.
For it. And then she was supposed to cream more. So I told in a spray because it was for high class.